Oh, hello. New Year's Eve already. Time for the 2023 hobby wrap-up, hobby bingo announcements, Kill Team Hobby Challenge 2024 launch, and an apology to two of my most dedicated supporters. All to come in this end-of-year video. So, hobby bingo. I failed again. As you can see, this hobby bingo card is not finished. I gave it a good old try. Failed last year, blamed it on my daughter being born. Failed this year, kind of have to blame it on World of Warcraft, which is my own lack of focus and dedication. Although, to be totally fair to World of Warcraft, I was behind with a little bit of a mountain to climb when World of Warcraft launched. Like, I did have a plan and I could have done it, but I really would have had to double down and work like stink to meet the deadline, which I then didn't do. So, you know, a little ambitious for me, maybe. White Dwarf have made the bingo card for next year easier. We'll look at that in a little bit. So maybe a bit ambitious for dads worldwide. Who knows? Part of it was trying to push myself to do the Lamenters. You know, if you try and push quality, quantity goes down. You can't sort of. They say with painting it goes in fits and starts. You kind of improve on speed for a bit, and then you improve on quality for a bit, and then hopefully you get to a point where you can improve on speed for a bit. But the White Dwarf Hobby Bingo is something White Dwarf been doing for a while. We're going to have to get together and do it on the Discord and argue about what goes in what box. More on that later. It doesn't have to, if you want to participate, it doesn't have to be Games Workshop stuff. Mine all was this year, although there was planned to be some Shatterpoint stuff, but maybe next year we'll get some Shatterpoint on. Anyway, if you'll indulge me, and why not, it's my channel, I'm going to give you a quick whistle-stop tour of all the hobby I managed to do in 2023. So we open the year with the Legionaries Hobby Challenge. Do you know, I haven't ever played a game of Kill Team. This is a recurring theme. I haven't ever played a game of Kill Team with these lads as Legionaries. So these are based on the Fallen, or maybe the Redeemed, who knows. Probably not, given that one of them's got a claw for an arm, but you know. And this was the first hobby challenge of the year that we did. It was to do a Space Marine a Legionaries kill team, and the theme could be whatever you wanted it to be within the confines of everybody had to do Legionaries. Quite a lot of us did Horus Heresy based stuff for that. I've always liked the idea of the Fallen, the sort of mysterious, ambiguous Dark Angels. Are they good? Are they evil? Do they worship chaos? Have they changed their minds? I think they're a really cool little wrinkle in the background. I'd love Games Workshop to explore them some more and give them some more dedicated kits and support, but it is what it is. I've actually got an entire army of these fellas, although I have put it away at the moment. It's upstairs under the bed. Not enough space in this artifice behind me because I keep wanting to do more hobby. But these guys are still out representing the First Legion. Yeah, or representing Luther anyway. Off we go. So then we had two. So I've consolidated these. These were painted at opposite ends of the year. Two full into the dark boards, and all of the narrative terrain except for the Gallowfall narrative terrain. Why? One, didn't buy Gallowfall. Two, all the other non-Gallowfall sets of narrative terrain have use in boarding actions. And you know, me and Zimbad actually have played a game of boarding actions now on both sets of terrain put together. I have to say, pretty enjoyable experience. They've taken the terrain squares off next year's bingo card, which genuinely, the bingo card was the only thing motivating me to get through the terrain, because painting terrain is an absolute chore. I think my terrain looks alright. That's the amount of effort I'm prepared to put into terrain. I think it looks decent. Could I have done better? Yes. Would I have gotten this much stuff painted this year if I had tried to do better? Probably not. Probably not. But two sets into the dark looks really good. Will I get better Decima painted up this year and the Shatterpoint starter box without the bingo card forcing me to? It's not likely, is it? My Kazakin kill team, my second kill team of the year, was really proud of these guys. So this, I should have gotten a later photo because I upgraded the bases a little bit with some more scatter and some more tufts in a bid to win an award. Alas, no dice. I was really proud of them. I thought they represented a real skill up in my painting this year. But not good enough, not hit the standard for the recognition that I crave, despite emulating, getting a bit my historical nerd on with these ones and emulating that kind of cookies and cream Gulf War camo pattern that was really famous for, emulating that on all of these. I thought they were really, 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 really good. judges thought otherwise, unfortunately. Might bring the Kazakhin back out. Did get a load of games in, but these actually mained them for a good part of the year. They have been buffed now in the balanced data slate as well. And I have, sitting on my shelf over there, the new Kazakhin, the Warhammer Plus miniature with the sword and the goggles, who I would quite like to paint up to match in with the rest of these guys, even though not having a plasma pistol, you'd never actually use them, would you? Painted a Penitent Engine, so one of the nice things about the hobby bingo is it actually gets me to paint something other than for painting kill teams over and over, and I am steadily trying to build up to a full-size 2,000 point painted Sisters of Battle army for Warhammer 40,000, and the Penitent Engine was a step along that road. It was painted it up because it's in the Combat Patrol box, and me and Zimbad are doing a sort of a slightly escalation-y league thing, so we've done Combat Patrol, and we've done boarding action. So the next step is a 1,000 point game and then a 2,000 point game, and we'll see where that goes. We're not really seeing who wins. Zimbad always wins. He's better at games than me, but it's for me the milestone's really important because I'm growing my army and getting my hobby done to try and meet those things. Although I still hadn't painted these bleeding sacrosancts, so they're almost there, but when we got to the boarding action section, I had 5 unpainted sacrosancts, but most of Zimbad's army was unpainted because he's even slower than me, so I can't feel too bad about it. But I still failed. It's not a competition, it's about meeting my own goals. Alongside these, I also painted some Arco Flagellants. Only needed 3 for the Combat Patrol, but wanted to get the whole squad of 10 out of the way. I think they look pretty good. They came out really well, and it was really nice to go off on the bounce painting these straight after the Penitent Engine, because I was in the vibe for that kind of mutilated flesh and grimy, grimdarky palette and look. I think they look really good. They came out really well, I think. Then we're on to the Inquisition kill team. Put quite a lot of effort into these as well. They were for a hobby challenge. We did an Inquisition-based hobby challenge with a lot of kit bashes and conversions in here. Never used these in anger, right? So like the Legionaries, these were done for the hobby challenge because I love the models and for basically no other purpose. Never actually played with them. But yeah, that was the second hobby challenge kill team of the year. We did the Inquisition hobby challenge. Pretty poorly entered compared to some of the other hobby challenges. Gave me some real food for thought in terms of what makes a good community event. I think the painting on these is okay. I mean, the ones that are fabric-y look good. So you got the pistolier, the guy in the purple robes in the back, they look good. Where it's black leather, and I try to do the highlights and make them look scratchy to try and evoke the texture of leather and the way it falls, it just ended up looking kind of crap. Not quite sure how, need to obviously get painted to Lat Gang or something and practice doing leather. I've seen some mind-bogglingly good leather. Maybe I just need to stop thinking of leather as leather and start thinking it as fabric. Because in my head, the pistolier is wearing just red fabric, but you could totally tell yourself that was red leather, and the highlights kind of work. So maybe my flaw was trying to highlight leather differently and trying to convey the way that it has harder lines in it, and maybe I should have just painted it as fabric would, and then if I really wanted to get into it, do some little cross hatching and stuff, although I'm not really that good. But yeah, kind of a failed experiment on the leader there, and also on the leather coat on the far right hand side, the double-handed chainsaw guy. The rest of the team looks really good. Used another semi-realistic camo pattern on the leggings of Sergeant Stone over there, which is good. Also in this kill team, I think it was the first time I started to try and paint a couple of non-Caucasian faces. So we've got some darker skin tones on the some of the guys at the back there, which is a new thing for me. Obviously, it's never been a conscious decision. It was just just paint the way that the paints and the tutorials guide you down, and now we've got more paints and things like that, so I thought I'd give that a go to stretch myself in that regard as well. I think it looks pretty cool. And so, Sisters of Battle, we painted a Seraphim Squad, my second Seraphim Squad. Also did some more diverse skin tones here, having learned how to do it, put that into practice, carry that forward a little bit. It gives you a little bit more variety to the squad, catches the eyes in different ways, and I think Games Workshop are now starting to sculpt certain heads with a particular ethnicity in mind for the facial features and things, so it's good to kind of try and match up and go along with what they thought they were doing. I mean, the scale's really too small for anyone to tell, but it's something that I've really just started doing this year, and I think it just adds a little bit of a point of interest here and there on certain miniatures, so that's great. Also added in Aist Dog Mar for my boarding action team. I think she came out pretty well. The white gloves are weird, but that's how Heavy Metal Team did them, with the colour scheme wise with white gloves, and I do like to match in with what's on the boxes. Face came out really well on this model, if I do say so myself. Also, the candle flames looking really on point there. Yeah, really pleased with this miniature as well. Actually, I think she looks pretty smart for a mid-level character. Then we've got the Demonifuge. Not totally happy with Kaiganel. Tried to do some diamonds and things on his costume, and you can just about see them, but I ended up making them quite like faint because I wasn't confident enough with it. It looks alright though. The Demonifuge herself looks okay. The face is a weird one. It's a weird sculpt. I know what they're going for, but it's slightly more, because she's from a comic, it's like got slightly more exaggerated features and things, and trying to work out how to paint the inside of mouths and make it look good. Also, she's got glowing eyes, which are kind of bright white, and then they just kind of get lost in the lighting in the background of the photograph. Kaiganel's got a different skin tone because he's an elf, and it just kind of falls into his hair a little bit. Maybe I needed to get a bit more shading in the hairline there as well. So you always see things when you look at your own miniatures. I'm sure there are people looking at the screen that's just going, wow, yes, the models look great, well done, cool. Move on, but I see things. But I really love the Demonifuge. I love the comics. I thought they were really good. I love Ethereal Stern as a character. Painting Kaiganel was a bit interesting. I never painted anything from the Harlequins range before. He's got his little Wraithbone bionic hand, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, they didn't do very well in the boarding action game, to be fair. They died like chumps to 3 Blade Guard. But, you know, what can you do? They felt like they should do better than that. Painted a Castigator tank, which is kind of a big deal for me. I kind of low-key hate painting tanks, especially Black Sisters tanks, because it's just so much effort to get all the edge highlights done. But I think it looks smart, it looks good, ticked off a Hobby Bingo square. This is why I do Hobby Bingo, otherwise I'd never paint tanks. I need them to play the game, so there we go. Obviously, I'll try and paint some more tanks next year for next year's Hobby Bingo as well. It's one of the reasons I really love Hobby Bingo, because we have all these things, we buy them, we're cool, we want to use them in the game, and then yeah, we don't paint them because they're not cool infantry and characters. There you go. Painted a tank, so I rewarded myself by painting Pious Vaughn, Warhammer Quest miniature. Has rules in 40k now as a preacher with the particular like combination of a big chainsword and a flamethrower. It's obviously for this exact model. She's really cool. She came out really well. It was quite a quick job. Like, she's not that much better painted than a standard Sister of Battle, but I think I did a decent enough job. And the fire, lavish a bit more time on that, grabs the eye, and it hides the fact that I didn't really spend particularly long painting her dress or armor or head, you know. Because your eyes just see the flames and go, oh, flames, pretty, flames, cool. And then finally this year, the last thing I painted was my Lamenters for the Badab War. The Badab War Hobby Challenge, 3rd Hobby Challenge of the year. So we have the Legionaries one, the Inquisition one, and the Badab War themed one. Been going on and on about these on the channel. I've showed them off at every chance I get. I really do feel like they're the best thing I've painted ever in my life. Didn't win anything at the Not to Kill Team event, but the standard was extremely high. Going to take the Warhammer World in January and maybe see what the judges there think of them. If my display base will stand up to another session of being transported. It's a bit finicky with being transported, and I don't really have anything to transport it in. But I do love this kill team. I think they came out really well. They're a great bunch of lads. Not really motivated to keep playing them, though. In rules terms, they're not great, but as an object to look at, as an object art, I really do love them. And talking about the Badab War Hobby Challenge, brings me to the apologies section of the video. So we did a hobby challenge, we did a video roundup for the hobby challenge, and I missed off 2 entries. So I'm going to go and appraise them now. So first we have Major Tom's Badab era Salamanders. So top marks, Major Tom, for really embracing this was the most on-brief entry into the whole thing, because you'd really gone above and beyond to make something that screams Badab War. Like, they look... Part of my brain's like, wow, they look rubbish, but then once you understand, not because of anything you've done understand, but because the concept is rubbish, but it's charming in that I can understand exactly what you've done and exactly how you've tried to do it. For my money, you've gone a bit overboard on the weathering on the boots, because looking at the source image, they're supposed to have black shoes and then a little bit of weathering. The fact that you've done black weathering rather than brown weathering just kind of makes the shoes kind of blend into the rest of the model, which looks a bit weird to me. My eyes can't really see what's going on. Have they just been wading through a volcano? Then again, salamanders do like spending time in volcanoes, so maybe that's not as unreasonable as you might think. I love the old school vibe that these had. Honestly, I'd forgotten you'd entered them, and the same with the next one, and so... neither did either of the others, so Mrs. T.I. and Zimbad helped me judge these things, and they didn't spot that I'd missed them off either, so I don't know where these would have come and how they would have disrupted the top 3. I'm not going to regrade the top 3 now and try and decide where you would have come. I don't think you would have made it into the top 3, but you know, it's not fair for me to go back and take prizes away from other people. I hope you understand. We are going to, moving forwards, have a separate channel just for your final entries. So hopefully nothing like this happens again. I do feel terrible about the whole thing, about missing them off, because they're really fun. And, you know, they're based on a rubbish thing, so they have a slightly rubbishy look to them, but you've executed it perfectly to make them look just right for what they should look like from the source material. Although, I will notice they're missing the charming skull with glow. I can't see any skulls with glowing eyes on them. Maybe if you rotated them slightly. I don't know if there is anything on that far shoulder pad or not. And then we've also got Tron's Mantis Warriors. Again, Tron decided to interpret the brief by doing some Phobos Marines, just in the colour scheme of the Mantis Warriors. These are really nice minis as well. A lot of quite sort of subtle variations in hue going on in the green that makes up the Mantis Warriors. Some lovely custom Mantis Warriors decals, really making the effort there to make them look Mantis Warrior like. Let's go for that. I wanted Mantis Warrior, but I can't say that. So yeah, really good. I love the red bolter on the sergeant that he's got there. I don't know why his bolters and weapons are a different colour to everybody else's. Is it just because he's the boss? That looks really cool as well. Maybe that's a piece of Mantis Warriors lore. I don't know. I'm not a Mantis Warriors expert, but this is what Badab is all about. I love seeing why I did Lamenters. I love seeing all these old chapters that nobody cares about anymore, and they get some representation. That's really cool. A real joy to see, and I'm so sorry that I missed them off from the final ranking and the results show. But you've had along with Major Tom, you've had your moment in the sunshine now. So hopefully, Tron, that satisfies. But again, I can only apologise. Right, let's talk about the next hobby challenge. So every year, Games Workshop, who likes us to give them money, try and tell us to do New Year, New Army. Well, that's quite expensive. But what about New Year, New Kill Team? Could we manage that? I think we could. So your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to make a brand new kill team of your choice. It's really that easy. You can start tomorrow, January the 1st, and you finish April the 1st, and there will be, if I've remembered to do it, because remember, I'm recording this on the 23rd, even though you're watching it on the 31st. If I remember, before I get really drunk, I'll create a channel in the Discord for this hobby challenge for you to post your work in progress shots, and then a little later I'll create a separate channel for final submissions of pieces only, right? Now, new year, new kill team, so it needs to be as new as possible. So bonus points if it belongs to a race, army or faction that you've never painted before. That will get you a kind of a bonus if you explain that alongside your entry, like I've never painted these before, and here you go. And also bonus points if you include some brand new hobby skill or technique that you've never tried before. That could be anything from wet blending, edge highlighting, non-metallic metals, meddling with texture paint, meddling with varnishes, meddling with sculpting or magnets, or whatever you want to do. If it's new to you, doesn't matter if it's not revolutionary. If your painting's pretty rudimentary and you're like, I've never bothered to try and paint pupils before and I've put pupils on these, anything like that, just mention it alongside your entry and it will get you nebulous bonus points, nebulous extra credit. Okay, there's 3 months, so starts on January the 1st, ends April the 1st. Let's try and make it as splendid as possible, and I'm going to do some Howling Banshees. Never painted me any Craftworld Eldar before. It's never been an army that I've collected in 40k ever. So going to give those a go. Going to try and get some hobby tech in there as well that I've not done before. Maybe I'll do something with magnets. I haven't decided yet. And I'll try and paint them to the same standard as the Lamenters with the whole display base and the whole deal. That would have been a great new hobby skill, doing a display base, but I've already done it now. But maybe I'll mess about with magnets and see how that goes. Never done anything with those. So that's my plan. Get a plan, have a plan, start it, enact it. You got 3 months to get going and get finished. Looking forward to it. Alongside that, we're doing Hobby Bingo 2024, which is now called Bunker Bingo 2024 because White Dwarf are trying to will this bunker thing into existence from nowhere. So join us over in the Table Impulse Discord for Hobby Bingo 2024. The channel for this is already up. Because people like to have the debate about what counts as a god of war. Is Darth Vader a god of war? No, because he's this big. Is a Primarch a god of war? Yes, he's a bit bigger. But if a Primarch's a god of war, why isn't this other thing a god of war? Can I paint my toenail? Is that a god of war? I stood on somebody's Knight Titan once. Does that make me a god of war? In the lore, this goat is the most powerful being in the universe, even though it's this big. Can it be a god of war? If debates like this make you happy, come along. No, don't. Actually, don't come along to the Discord because I'm going to delete them all. No, I'm being silly. I love all the good people of Discord and their individual little ways and how they can't just go, oh yes, rank and file, I intuitively know what that is. That's a squad of 10 Space Marines, off we go. Oh, but is this now? Anyway, I'm complaining too much about the good people that support me. So come, join the Hobby Bingo, interpret the card however you wish, okay? And hopefully we'll all get some hobby done together, and I'll be forced to paint 2 tanks this year to finish it. Is that... I could paint monsters, they suck as well. So this is the real reason I do Hobby Bingo, to try and make myself paint some tanks. But there's no terrain on the bingo card this year, so, that's not getting done, is it? Yeah, Hobby Bingo, come and do it, please. Excellent, thank you. And let's just talk about, is my channel again. It is New Year. I can talk about whatever I would like. My personal hobby goals for 2024. Number 1, finish those bleeding Celestians that have been hanging out on my hobby desk for far too long. Generally, I'm going to try and work towards a 2,000 point Sisters of Battle army fully painted. I'm going to try and paint 3 kill teams this year to the same standard as my Lamenters, or preferably a better standard because I want to improve because my Lamenters didn't win anything. But I don't try and push myself to that standard on my Sisters army because I'm trying to get 2,000 points done. But when I'm doing a kill team, I'm going to try and push, do battle damage, do all these different techniques that I've learned to try and get somewhere, some sort of recognition in my lizard brain. That would be good. One of those 3 teams is going to be the Banshees for New Year, new kill team. One of those is probably going to be new Light Lords because they look epic. And one is going to be something else, maybe something yet to be released, or maybe I'll go back and do an older kill team. Lord knows, there are plenty over here in the pile of shame, and maybe that'll be a theme for a future kill team hobby challenge. Lord knows my members like the idea. And I also plan to paint some Shatterpoint, so I've got, my aim is to paint the Dooku box, which I own. My aim is to paint the Grievous box, which I don't own yet, and to paint the Ventress Squad from the core set, which I don't own yet either. But at least 2 of those 3 done so I can play a game of Shatterpoint would be great, because I've got a friend at work that we're trying to get into wargaming who loves Star Wars, doesn't care about Warhammer, so maybe Shatterpoint's going to be the way that we get him in. He loves the Clone Wars as well, so maybe Shatterpoint's going to be the way we get him into the game, but I need to have a Shatterpoint army painted up in order to do that. Fantastic. final thoughts time. What are your hobby goals for 2024? Share them in the comments. Will you be participating in Hobby Bingo or New Year, New Kill Team again? Let me know in the comments, but more importantly, come over to the Discord and say, yo, I'm here for Hobby Bingo, or yo, I'm here for the Hobby Challenge. Be great to have you. Great to have more people on the Discord. It grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And I love doing these kind of community videos and community events. And you too can be part of the community and have your work featured in a future video. Like, subscribe, and do all the things. But most importantly, have a splendid 2024. Happy New Year for tomorrow. And I'm wishing you all the best. Right. Cheerio. Goodbye. And I'll see you back here on Tuesday the 2nd of January for the first live stream, hobby live stream, when I'll still be painting these blasted Celestians. First hobby live stream of the new year, when I'll just have driven back from my Christmas holiday, so I'll be knackered and we can talk about all the hobby related Christmas stuff that we got and paint up some things and talk about our plans for New Year then. Cheerio, looking forward to it already. Bye bye guys, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye, God bless, bye.